There's so much sensational nonsense on this topic on the internet that I felt the need to talk about genuinely effective methods. The most reliable, but also the most labor-intensive, is control through muscles and breathing. When I wrote about the dry orgasm, you can find this post pinned. I mentioned that with prolonged training, one can learn to climax without ejaculation at all. By the way, I later received about 24 letters from guys who mastered this skill, mostly by accident, and were very surprised that someone other than them could do it. The second most popular and obvious method is the engineering one. Slow down the frictions, change the position, or distract with oral sex and other caresses. Some smart people also advise imagining something very non-sexual, but I don't recommend it. Firstly, you might get so distracted that you lose your erection, which will certainly not please your partner. And secondly, if you get used to such fantasies, you'll start having erection problems in the opposite direction. By the way, if you learn to organically change types of sex, switching from frictions to cunnilingus, caresses, and vice versa, you'll definitely be considered a great lover. Good sex is like a cool guitar solo. It can't be monotonous. And the last obvious method, which is most often chosen, is the use of lubricants and sprays with an anesthetic. They make the skin of the glands lose sensitivity, to the point that intercourse can last as long as you want. I have only one question about these miraculous ointments. Why have sex at all if you don't feel anything? Impress your partner? Well, you won't use them all the time. Sooner or later, she will find out your real capabilities. And if the sex is a one-time thing, then the lack of sensations is entirely pointless. Now about the lesser-known methods of delaying ejaculation. Few know, but when approaching orgasm, it helps to stand on your feet. That is, to find support for your soles. In this case, the buttocks relax, the tension decreases slightly, and ejaculation is postponed. It briefly helps if you pinch the glands from the top and bottom with 2 fingers and hold it in this position for a few seconds. Alcohol, yes, it deprives you of sensitivity, so hypothetically it can also be used to prolong the act. But here, as you understand, it's easy to get drunk. These are all the working methods. If there are systemic problems, I would sincerely advise practicing pelvic floor muscle exercises and learning breath control, and also adding variety to the process. Overall, this problem exists more in your heads, guys. Believe me, few women are upset that the first time of the night was too short. Your lady will be much more offended if you can't finish at all, as it would mean she's not sexy enough for you. By the way, if an orgasm unexpectedly happens too quickly, you can always tell your partner that it's because she's too hot and compensate for her pleasure with your hands, a toy, or your mouth. And no hard feelings,